Today I was listening to these verses from Surah Al-Qamar where Nuh alayhi salam is coming raw and just open to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and just completely exposing his own emotions. And he's saying, Anni maghlubun, like I'm just completely done, I'm overwhelmed. And we have these feelings in our lives right now. Sometimes we're feeling done and we're feeling exhausted and depleted, and we don't know when the next phase is going to come in our life, when the genocide is going to stop, when what you're seeing want to happen. Sometimes you're just overwhelmed waiting, overwhelmed trying, overwhelmed putting in effort. And here you see this prophet who preached the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for hundreds of years. And he's at this point where he says, Anni maghloob, like, Ya Allah, I'm overwhelmed. And he feels defeated. And he says, Fantasir, Ya Allah, like, take over. Like, I've done my part, I've tried. Ya Allah, show me the victory I've been seeking, because it's only gonna come through you. And in the scene is just, I imagine someone who's just so broken, yet so sure where the wholesomeness will come from. So sure of the one who's able to put him back together. And I was listening to this in this recitation by Sheikh Al-Minshawi, who's reciting it so slowly and beautifully and emotionally. And then suddenly the shift changes, and what does the next verse go to? It says, فَفَتَحْنَا أَبْوَابَ السَّمَاءِ. Immediately is the answer, the showering of the rains, the opening of the skies for Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. And it says in the next verse also to come, وَفَجَّرْنَا الْأَرْضَ عُيُونًا. Not only did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open the sky from above him, but from below him came the gushing of springs. And you're like, the scene is so powerful, because you go from absolute almost brokenness to vastness of openings and blessings. And when I was listening to this today, I said, why is Allah telling us this? Like, I had this thought in my mind, like, why does Allah give us this scene in the Quran? And then a little bit later, I connected it to what Allah says in the end of Surah Hud. Allah tells us, وَكُلًّا نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ الرُّسُلِ مَا نُثَبِّتُ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ. Allah tells us all of the Prophet stories that you see in the Quran are there for one reason. And that reason is to reassure your heart, to comfort your heart, to strengthen you, to pull you together, because you will have these moments. That scene where a prophet is raw and open and coming with his emotion to Allah, that can be you. That can be you in a different way, that you are bringing your whole situation raw and open to Allah. And the answer that Allah gives him can be an answer that Allah gives you. So these stories are not just stories to learn of our history, but to know what your future can look like too, through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's what's amazing about the Quran, that it will give you hope through these stories that you're hearing, that you're listening to, that you're reflecting on. And my teacher says, may Allah reward her, and may Allah allow us to apply what she says. She says, don't let a day go by without your eyes looking at the Quran and reading the words. Don't let a day go by where you prevent your eyesight from the beauty of the Quran. Don't let a day go by without your tongue being able to recite the Quran. Don't let a day go by without your ears being given the beauty of being able to listen to the Quran. What if we revived our senses in this way? What if we revived our hearts in this way? Then when we are on lows, through the Quran, we'll be able to be taken to the Most High and to know that we're not alone. Because that's why the Quran is here, to show us you're not alone. You're not alone, not for a second. And even if you feel alone, use that loneliness to come to Him.